Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. It's the 30th of January 2025. An update to the American Airlines crash story with the U.S. military helicopter. This is the latest from Washington. A news conference just ended with the Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, who was sworn in about 2 days ago. And this is a very big assignment for him. His first major assignment and incident. Now, what we know so far is that American Airlines, 5342, that flight was run by PAC Airlines and flown as American Eagle into the regional airport in Washington, D.C. For those of you in Nigeria, the time is 2:40 p.m. live. And what a regional airport is an airport that actually does flights, but maybe smaller planes, smaller flights, regional kind of thing. Okay, they have one in Toronto City Airport. I used to fly Porter Airlines from there to St. John's or any other city in Canada. So get to know what regional airports are. Now, Ronald Reagan Airport is also called DC Airport, okay? Some of the major airlines actually operate from DCA. So what do we have right now is an update. 64 people were on the plane and 3 people were on the helicopter. The military helicopter is what they call a Black Hawk. You guys can Google it in Nigeria. Black Hawk UH-60. I've been doing aviation reporting for 31 years, but most of you don't know because I only do it on Twitter. So if you go to my X account, Dr. Kemi Lawrence, you don't even have to go to my account. Just type in Kemi Talks Aviation. You'll see all my plane reports there. An aviation buff as well. And I wanted to become a pilot. That was one of the 3 things I wrote in my book in school. My father saw that book. It's here in that suitcase over there. What do you want to become when you grow up? A pilot, a news reporter, or a pharmacist? At least I did 2 of those. Okay, going on to this crash. A Black Hawk is a medium utility helicopter. Black Hawk UH-60. Google that and learn something. And it's used to move things around military base to if you're going from one military base in maybe Virginia, the Pentagon is in Virginia, you want to move something to another fort this, fort that, want to go to New York, those Black Hawks are very good. U.S. airspace is very busy. It's very crowded. So I want every single Nigerian to go download or just go to the website for Flight Radar. There are many Flight Radar apps. Okay, I use some for my work. I love Flight Radar 24 first. Go click the map there to the US and you'll see how many planes are in the air, like right now as we're talking. Tens of thousands. And you can see any plane from anywhere in the world. If you want to see planes that left Nigeria, you go to Google and click Flight Radar or just write Maurice Salah Mohammed arrivals or Nnamdi Azikiwe arrivals, departure, everything's there. When that plane leaves, I love one beautiful one, Accra to Washington, United Airlines. United Airlines flies a plane from Accra to Washington by 11 hours. The very same United Airlines flies a plane from Lagos to Washington. So they're going on that same flight path, 10 hours and maybe 15 minutes, 11 hours roughly. And you guys remember that United Airlines just left Lagos to Washington Dulles about 5 days ago. So when God is on your side, understand the bigger picture. People on that plane were not happy because something happened above Ivory Coast, some pocket of warm air and a technical issue with the plane. The plane had to go back. Food everywhere on the floor. You saw the coverage. Like some kind of super turbulence, the descent of the plane. So the plane went back to Lagos. People on that flight now will be saying, what if we actually continue that flight? What if a helicopter comes right through us in that Washington Dulles? These are things you need to, if you're not going, you're not going. So don't get mad. God knows what he's doing. He may have prevented you for something like this. But let me focus on Washington, D.C. airspace. There is a military base in that area, and the news we're hearing now is that that particular helicopter was on a training flight. What is a training flight? Is it the pilots were learning something? The pilots were learning how to fly? No, they can already fly helicopters, but they were training as well on certain missions. And there's something called pilot error, where you can be flying a plane and make an error and everything just go haywire. This is why President Trump tweeted again on his own platform through social. Look at that second thing he put up. He said this shouldn't have happened. Why didn't that helicopter go up or down when he saw the plane? Those are things we have to look at. I was a traffic reporter, okay, in America during my journalism days. In 2004, Captain Herb Emery, okay, the late Captain Herb, our darling Captain Herb. If you live in Atlanta, you know Captain Herb Emery at WSB Television and Radio. He was the one that trained me in traffic reporting. I will never forget him. Captain Herb, I used to fly with him in the afternoon sometimes, especially when I was training to be that traffic reporter. Helicopters have what they call rotors, okay, the blades on the top, and you have power to actually move up, because that's how helicopters fly, or down. So the question the NTSB has to look on now, the National Transportation Safety Boards, which is what the Secretary of Transportation told us in the news conference. Sean Duffy said this investigation is going to be taken over by the NTSB and the FAA. Of course, the Federal Aviation, the federal, parastatal for that, and the NTSB, the second one, which is the National Transportation Safety Board. They are the ones that probe into plane crashes, train crashes, even automobile crashes, some different things that would involve mass, deaths. So the NTSB and the FAA are on the investigation right now. And President Trump said, why didn't that thing go up or down? The helicopter pilot, did he see that plane? These are questions they have to solve. From the air traffic controllers at Reagan National Airport and the ones for the military base. So it's going to be a long investigation, but I can tell you, when you're investigating things, it's procedure. But for now, we can't get those people back. They're all dead, no survivors. They have pulled out 27 bodies, confirmed. The media was reporting about 30. About is not even good. Okay, you need to count people like what they are. Okay, 64 in the plane, 3 in the helicopter. So they've pulled out 27 total, 1 from the helicopter and 26 from the plane. The Potomac River is very cold. It's icy. So when that plane dropped, they were not wearing icy suits. They were wearing their clothes. So the chances of their body temperatures dipping down and shut down all their organs is very likely. I can tell you one thing. It was a fiery crash. There would be some bodies that were burnt, and you will get some bodies that were intact, but those bodies froze immediately, and shut down all the organs. Very sad situation here. Flight 5342, they boarded at gate 6 of the Wichita, Kansas airport, and they were supposed to exit at gate 53. These numbers, I'm into numerology and spirituality. The gate that they were supposed to arrive at was gate 53, and that's the beginning name of the flight, 5342. And they entered at gate 6, that number 666. God help us, but may their souls rest in peace. That's all I can say for right now. Any updates before the 9th of February, I will give you updates. But this is what's going on. American Airlines Flight 5342 that left Wichita, Kansas, United States, going to Washington Reagan National Airport, crashed mid-air with a helicopter, a U.S. military helicopter. No survivors. They are looking at a lot of things now. They can't tell us if Homeland Security is in there because we don't know anything yet with the pilots, their state of mind. Was it deliberate? People are saying it was deliberate, but Sean Duffy wouldn't tell us that because that can compromise the investigation. So stay tuned. I'll give you more updates as they come in. Please pray for aviation. Pray for aviation. There's a lot going on in the airspace. Go download Flight Radar and check out where the planes are coming from, where they're going, and the pictures. I'm Dr. Kemi Talks Media.